It is December the 13th, 2016. I'm Dana, your host. Today, the nuclear proctologist guy at .org. And we are testing a reality to see if anybody is actually hanging out there trying to have a good time. How's this for reality? Does that test your reality? Watch the shadow on the floor. Does that test your reality? Do you have a reality? Do you want a reality? You need a reality. Does anybody even understand that definition? That horrible definition when it comes to Fukushima is game over. They have no way back. They buried themselves deep into hell, and there is no way. And Yale is not answering the phone. Big surprise. We depended upon the homeless, and we will become homeless. We are emblematic when we don't make a stand even at this stage of evolution. Have we evolved? We are just as cruel now as we were 1,000 years ago. What you're seeing is a depiction of two buildings. One is Reactor 4, and it's allegedly a 190 feet high building, and it's okay. The integrity's there. They put structural supports underneath the pole. But did they?
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay. Do you think what's going on in Japan is a game? You got any idea how much trouble these people are in? Because they put other people in charge of their well-being and in charge of their future by abrogating their responsibilities to hold people accountable that are not doing their job. If you had a business and your employees were out playing soccer in the parking lot all day, every day, and when you told them to get back to work, they ignored you and told you to get lost, and they sent thugs over to beat you up, how long do you think you would stay in business? Is that a business? Well, that's what your government is doing to you. Look at this example of the IAEA, the UNSCLEAR, ERPA, all the atomic agencies, outlets, United Nations, never come out and said, hey, Japan, you can't raise the level 75 times higher. As simple as that. They never even done that. They said, yeah, no, it's cool, man. The clouds coming in, you see 133, but what does that mean to you? Well, there's a big cloud coming in, and probably going to be breeding a lot of that for a while. But it's just xenon. Don't worry about it. It dramatically increases. Dramatic. Cancer. Dramatic. Look at the words. Bombards humans with very powerful x-rays. It's not like you got an x-ray and you went home. They turned the machine off. It's in you. It's going to pulse and pulse and pulse, and it turns into cesium. And it gets sucked up in your muscles and your heart and your liver. But we're not in the worst spot. Japan is the worst spot, but we're still got pounded. Everybody did. Cesium's not slow. Radiation from a chain reaction, meltdown. Not a banana. No, not a potato chip. rocket and sunshine nonsense. Like, do you think that radiation is everywhere and radiation good for you narrative has done this planet any good when radiation is the most carcinogenic thing that exists? When there's 23% more cancers around nuclear power plants, minimum in one study? And we got to stop these sorts of reports coming out that radiation is harmful, but we know it's harmful. We know it affects you immediately. There was 22,000 excess heart attacks in America right after. Does that mean the people who didn't have a heart attack didn't get a massive dose and died after the study? Let's keep going. Let's keep thinking about Chernobyl was a paper towel with 3 million children. This is not like they had the flu and they went and got a bunch of tissues and they were okay. Once they got treated once, they're treated permanently. These problems, there's 1,800 diseases. Shows up before cancer. Cancer's the last one. Goddard is out telling everybody if you get cancer from fish because you have more potassium in the fish than man-made, then therefore you got cancer from potassium. Disgusting. But the child's risk of cancer from radiation is 10 to 100 times more. And the disinformation by people like Goddard and Caldecott and Gunderson, Busby telling you can't make it over here. Eye-opener, under 3% of the children exposed to Chernobyl radiation in the womb were diagnosed as healthy. So they were all sick. Even the ones who weren't diagnosed in a couple of years, cancer takes 10, 20, 30, 40 years to manifest. So if only 3% didn't show immediate signs, they did later. Change the pace before you get cranky. No, let's try something else. There we go. That'll change me. 3 times more thyroid cysts for 50 millimeters than boys for girls, and 79% more medium-sized than boys. And cancer is the last one to show up. Diabetes, heart, liver, lung, respiratory. 35%, when it's normally 3 in a million. 35% tested was 13,646 out of 40,000. Not out of a million, but out of 40,000. Just 0.8% of a study group showed any kind of, now 36%. It was 3 in a million, yeah? Girls are attacked way harder, way quicker, way more viciously. And girls and females and the mammals and animals and everything else, insect, birds, are what's producing life. And if they're being nailed twice as hard, it's a big surprise numbers are dropping for all the species. Oh, Dana's only for humans. Yeah, the humans are bioaccumulating. Don't worry about it. You're not wrong. Data shows a large spike in deaths, particularly infant deaths. This is here. Can you imagine? Now, Japan had 860,000. Japan had 860,000 cancers 2012. That's crazy numbers. That's batshit whack job. Oh my goodness, what the frig numbers. We're talking like, oh, this is an event. If this was like Ebola or something like that, the whole planet would be freaking out, locked up in their apartment buildings, right? If this was a bioweapons attack, it still couldn't do the damage that Fukushima done. Couldn't wipe out the Pacific Ocean. Let's keep going on Japan, though. Japan has lost control, man. By the end of this 30-minute stream, in 20 minutes time, you'll get it. Inhaling just one radioactive hot particle can cause cancer. It's coming at you from every direction. Study after study after study after study on animals and dogs and birds. No matter what, we looked for any real study. They all got viciously sick. Infant deaths up in BC. Just because the children their friends and neighbors didn't die right away, don't mean that they didn't get the same dose. Don't mean they're not going to have diabetes and heart and liver and Alzheimer's and dementia and autism. Low doses can cause heart disease and stroke. Like Japan is completely out of control. 13,646 out of 40,000. When it's 3 in a million. And so a Japanese consulate has spoken out in San Francisco at the Japan's consulate embassy. So he's an important representative from Japan, sitting in America, on the outside looking in. He's not inside constantly looking over his shoulder, because Japan has lost control. We've lost. It's a mental illness at this stage, because it's 6 years and they're still trying to cover it up and hide it. Okay, got a few more headlines and we're going to jump to the other stuff. And good morning, everybody. Burnt out this morning. I'll be okay tomorrow. A little burnt out this morning. Up all night. Hang on. That's not. A little burnt out. I'm okay. Under a lot of pressure. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Ellie. Neil. Jace. Hi, everybody. Emthers. Todd. When is the documentary going to be finished? Yeah. It's finished for all intents and purposes. I'm hanging on for another little tiny bit. I'm working. Because like, to put out the documentary right now is just... I put out a documentary every day, you know? There's a documentary out there every day. And it looks a little gray for some reason. But what you're looking at, you know, that is the documentary, basically. And there was nothing left on the coastline. We literally do this every other day, every day almost, because we have to. It's just a depiction. Among other things, Hollywood is very interested in all of this, not in a controlling kind of way at all. Nothing to do with that. But they're interested in the fact that it's an extinction event. They're shocked and horrified, terrified, mortified, brutalized in just one day. The documentary, you know, I think about that all day, every day. I'm working on it all day, every day. How do I make this better? How do I tell that story? How can I do it justice? when I don't think I can do it justice. And so, like, I'm really shoving myself as hard as humanly possible at this stage to make it better. It's such a horrible story. And that, on the flip side, the movement is not there for the story. And if I had like a small explosion on my site where I was getting a lot of traffic, I would probably just pump it out there and keep the momentum. But we don't have the momentum. We're attacked by all the PR firms, by all the government agencies with huge investments in nuclear, by the stockholders, by the mining companies, by the waste companies who have a lot to gain from nuclear continuing. All of these people, we're talking tens of billions of dollars a week in money that they won't be able to suck out of the system anymore when the story finally breaks that this is an extinction event, and that they worked in tandem to cover it up and stop people like me from existing, and barbarized me and vilified me through the legal system, made stuff up and had me arrested, convicted, so I couldn't even talk about it in certain aspects and tell the whole story. But 260 days, 15,000 miles of the coastline, you can't hide that away. Even if I don't exist, you can't get rid of this fact. This horrible, unbelievable, horribly fact. You know, all of the radiation killed all the animals. See, the world, like, I can't stop because I know how much trouble we are in. I don't know how to stop. But I need momentum to accomplish anything. And if I'm going to put everything on the line, all my cards out there on that table, because I'm making documentaries every day. This is a documentary every day. Right? So when there's an interest, I'm ready to go. And that'll show up, hopefully at Christmas. If not, it doesn't matter. My life is not dependent upon Hollywood showing up. Like they said they're going to. At all. I'm not like that. But it'd be pretty awesome. Trust me. If we get a free ride, so to speak. That's a free ride, yeah? Like a Hollywood shows up, actually keeps their word. I can't blame them if they don't. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to hold a grudge against it. It's not about that, right? But when you talk to these people, these superstars, and you hear their voices, and you understand that's as real as it gets, and they ask you all the right questions, no nonsense, important stuff, pertinent stuff, paying attention, feeding on the pertinent stuff instead of the negative stuff. They're very sharp people, very intuitive, and in that context, right? Because that's what they do for millions of dollars is they pay attention. And just frighten the shit out of them. And everybody there now knows about it. And they knows about it not from all the lapdogs at all. They know it from me. They got their information from me, and they're able to go out and look themselves and back it up and follow the right path. And they were able to come to the right conclusion without the mind fuck that goes with trying to go through media. Trying to listen to the old sawhorses, the old dinosaurs, the old puke machines, the old peddlers of fables. And for 70 years telling you it's like getting on an airplane, really. They're still doing it, right? More radiation, eating a banana, sleeping next to someone, eating potato chips, climbing mountains, flying on planes. It's everywhere. It's good for you. They have painted themselves into a corner there's no way they can crawl out of. It took 70 years and the death of the Pacific Ocean. And, you know, by the way, folks, keep meaning to say this for the last 20 minutes, but I still haven't said it. It was $1,049 for the 6 lights and 2 screens, 10 by 20 foot. And that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be here next Monday, maybe. It might show up Friday, but probably Monday, my luck, or Tuesday even. But when it shows up, it's, oh man, woohoo! You got no idea what you guys are in for. I'm gonna bring it to them, man. I'll bring it to them every friggin' day. Even in my little, there's gonna be a live stream in 20-minute videos. I'm gonna be bringing it to them. It's gonna be unique, and it's gonna be well worth watching and paying attention to for anybody out there trying to interest somebody. All of this is I'm tired of playing games, so I'm able to do that. If I can think about it, now I can bring it to life. Attitude and drive. It's not so much attitude as it is, like drive. It's about drive. Nobody knows what I got done, where I got it done to anymore. But it's this kind of routine where I can place myself and layer myself, say, or anything else. I can import objects in there, like the beach and the Zodiac is real, but that's all me with same suit and couple of different hats. And I got a couple of gloves, but they're the wrong color. They don't show up, so the yellow ones. Fukushima live stream starts in about 20 minutes. Right, that was the intro yesterday and this was my first attempt yesterday to build a wall. And I made a mistake with that. I made a mistake with it. Hang on. So when I was building the wall, what I should have done, I'll bring it down. I'm just going to get funny on me. What I should have done was laid all the rocks on a green screen. Instead, I layered the rocks one at a time. And because I got a shitty quality camera. But everything else, when I get the camera, finally, I get my act together. And so we're left with $800. We haven't raised any money the weekend or yesterday. I didn't really push. And so I need maybe another 1,000 to pull off the camera. What that's going to do with the lights, the green screen, and the camera is I'm going to I need a higher quality picture. That was just a screen capture I used here to try a technique. And so what I got to do is I got to take the green screen and start layering the rocks, right? Not layering, but put all the rocks down and then take the picture. Because when I layer it, I lose my quality. See, and watch how the quality gets lost as I start trying to layer more rocks. And a few screw-ups I made here. Let me try. I tried it again with the layering. And then I flipped. I done half the layer. You can't really see it, but I done half the layer, and then I flipped it. Where the hell did I do that, Tom? Yeah, I done that. And then I kind of flipped it and zoomed in a little bit to try to get away from it. But what I should have done was put all the rocks on the table, and they'll all be clean, not like that, and then take the picture, and then start inserting myself into the picture. Does that make any sense? Poor Dina. And then once that's done, start building the wall, right? And you start layering it, trying to figure out how to layer. This was just the rudimentary stuff, obviously. So then you're looking at stuff like doing layers and then stretch the layers. And I can put rough edges on the layers and stuff like that, but I don't have the high quality yet. I will, though, in the next couple of weeks, I'll have that. And then it'll look way better anyway. And whatever I want to do, because I'll make all these templates and then I can just whack it together. So it's going to take me like a month of templates, but then I'll be like, oh, watch out, baby. She's going to be epic. Anyway, I lost track. Stream's almost over. Let me see. What didn't we cover? Changed the color for the last couple of weeks. Nobody's seen that. Let me get rid of my green screen. Maybe you can see the difference. Oh, goodness. Here. So we're basically in this stream, I guess, by the looks of it. Hang on. So you can see the two colors. I put a quarter paint on behind me. You can see the other color alongside of it. You can kind of see the curtain up in the top left-hand corner there. I'm not going to get up and move the camera, but... And so I'll have 10 by 20 foot. It's going to be wicked, man. It's going to be unreal what I can do with this stuff. Trust me. So it's just green screen. Green screen. And then move over and get rid of shit that I don't want to fool with right now. And then when I zoom in, it's hard to say, right? Because you can see my reflection and everything. So it's pretty... The illusion is very simple. For them, anyway. The illusion is, it looks like that on the left, but they claim that it's all intact like the right. And that's not where I want it to be. Like, think about how big that illusion is. Think about how big that illusion is. Because that's only like a 1, 2, I'm not sure, that's a 10-story. Think about when they talk about strontium-90, how many other fissionable strontiums are there. They never talk about uranium, but 232, 233, 235, real nasty stuff. Plutonium, all nasty. Curium is the biggest byproduct of the fuel rods. And americium and neptunium are hot particles. You can't have cesium without there being neptunium, americium, and neptunium there. And finally, at the end of the show, it doesn't matter how many people went on that beach, because I done the whole beach. Those pictures are up at my site. It doesn't matter how many people you send in there, they're all going to die. You'll never get the job done. These are just me, a depiction. And, of course, I can make the fire a little bit better, bigger, the smoke a bit smaller. And you would know the difference if you were watching a video from the mainstream. And if the government showed you this and said they were out looking, they didn't find any radiation, you would believe them. But this is just me over and over and over. And if I had high-quality cameras and an actual green screen, you would never know the difference that I wasn't there. And then I can just layer in as many people as I want. I can just keep going layer after layer, right? And there's no limit on it if I got quality. So I can fill up all those beaches from a single picture and make it, and I can fill up that building with the homeless and the destitute, because they wouldn't be alive, but it's meant to be a gruesome depiction. Pretty sure I succeeded in that one. But that is the reality, isn't it? I got to see that one more time, right? I don't know what's going on there, but whatever. That's the way it works. Here we go. Let's say hugs for everybody. I guess is the time. Let me check. Maybe we got a few minutes. Oh, we're out. We're 30 minutes in. Hugs for everybody. Thank you, everybody. I'm so excited to get the right lights and the right green screen. Just that. I don't care about the camera. I love the idea of getting the camera. I'm going to get it. But just getting this far, being able to do what I'm able to do, being able to improvise, and come out and tell the story now with this authority of footage and being able to implement the stupidest things and make them part of that story is going to be magic. And it's going to help this planet come to terms with this extinction event, with this incredible, unbelievable, desperate thing that is happening to Japan. We want to help Japan, like the Japanese consulate in San Francisco, who, bless their heart, spoke out strongly, finally, and condemned it. And anybody in the Olympics planning on going there, they won't go. They'll ultimately change their mind. There won't be an Olympics in the prefecture. And this will be the end of nuclear for trying to do it. They're doing it to themselves. You can't expect us, this planet, to sit back and put up with what you got done. You can't expect us to give up. You can't expect that you can hide away and that we're going to forget who you are and what you've done to us and how you've done it and why you've done it and what you got for it and what the repercussions are. No, people will work it out on their own, even if we didn't exist. Even if there was no anti-nuclear movement, the world will come and understand it on their own in short order, because you can't hide that extinction event. Works for everybody.